So today's close, the S&P will surge into a record-breaking close. Not quite a record, but a record since 2004. And we're talking about 9 days in a row with a win streak, barring an absolute collapse here in the final half hour. And it has been an incredible run off the lows. Man, what a move here. Today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Again, please give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate each and every one of you. Helps me out a lot. Again, if we can get that streak back of 200 per video, I'll do another giveaway. Maybe we'll do another webinar. Maybe we'll do a free webinar at some point. Those likes, comments, and shares definitely help out. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. It's been an awesome run here as well in the trading room and in the swing service. Very nice month here and getting this off to a good start. But anyways, let's get into it here today. And I want to talk about a few things, and we'll get into, kind of touch on what I touched on yesterday, do a little bit different of a format maybe in today's video. We'll just kind of recap the action as per usual. But again, I don't say this stuff to just be a jerk or anything, and I know most of you guys actually understand that. But again, we talked about the 510 2 weeks ago. Get that level away in the Sunday night video and in the short video in the morning. And ever since that low, it's just been straight up, right? Gap and go, not quite a gap and go, but a gap and reverse. And we talked about this on the close of this day. I said, we might actually, this gap may fill, but we might actually just go higher first. And the reason I said that is because the expectation was that the gap will fill right away. Like it's too easy, right? Everybody sees it. And the fact that they teased the sell into the end of the day told me that there is a good chance they could take it the other way. Again, the market, I say this all the time, but the market will generally go where you think it's going to, but it takes the worst route to get there, right? And that's really the pain trade. And we've talked about that here as well. A lot of people tried fading this rally on the way up. And again, I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say don't get too bearish, don't, the market doesn't have to do anything. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody, but I say it because that was me, right? I've done this before, take it from me. I've been there plenty of times and I've been in that position. And, a couple of years ago, I probably would have gone short the whole way up here. And this market is, getting this pain trade here. And if you don't think that people are shorting this rally, I can tell they are, but just look at put premiums. If you want to take a look here, this is over the last 7 days. This doesn't even include the whole rally, but over the last 7 days here, really only 1 or 2 days were call premiums anywhere near puts. And even the last two, especially, puts are up there, right? So they're trying to fade this thing the whole way up. And I see, a lot of these accounts on X and whatnot, oh no, it's actually bearish. GDP missing is actually bearish, or non-farm payroll missing this morning, beating this morning is actually bearish because yields are up. Look, the market is going to do what it's going to do. You got to react to what the market's doing. And obviously we make predictions and we make, we do analysis, but you have to execute on that. And if the market's not following your predictions and not, following the path that you laid out, you have to be able to adjust. And, I did this little post here this morning, but pre-market, Delta Gamma, overwhelmingly positive all the way to 5,700. And that's where we topped out today, is at 5,700. And again, joke around a lot, I say a lot of things, but again, I'm saying this stuff because I've been there before. Don't triple, quadruple down. I've been seeing people do that all week long. Who cares if you stop out and then the market tops, right? Who cares? I sold, just to give you an example, yesterday, I did not want to stop out, 2 days ago. We stopped out at the low here. We remember the exact entry we had, but we stopped out right at the low and we jumped right back on and it ended up being a monster trade. It was like 770 points on NQ and 100 and something on ES. You can always jump right back in if the market gives you a signal. But this whole double, quadruple, triple, no, it's actually bearish. The market's wrong. I'm not wrong. You're going to blow your account. So that's what I'm talking about here when I say this pain trade is a thing. And that's why it keeps going up. I actually took my first short today in a while. Got the high, well, it was the high of the day for a minute in NQ, but just a small position. And we were doing it against the 5,700 call wall as well as the 490 area on QQQ. Now we didn't quite get to the, I don't think we got to the 200, yeah, 491.04. Yeah, we got about 10 cents shy, and I thought we might do that. That's why I kind of got in a little ahead of time, because everybody's looking at that 200 moving average. A lot of the time it's not going to get there. You can see right now, 490, that's probably not going to pay out. That was kind of a guess that I made that ended up being correct. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to. I would imagine we close below that here by the end of the day. They did the same thing with 560 SPY yesterday. That sell, I'm telling you, like, because everybody's looking for this pullback. Everyone knows we're overbought on the low time frames, right? So every little dip, they're gonna they're salivating at a huge decline, and you can see we had that sell, and then what happened? Amazon like opened flat today. Apple was down, yes, but we got the news out of China in the overnight, and the Russell took over. So it's again rotation, and we're seeing even in the after hours yesterday, SPY was only down like $1.50 at the lowest, with Apple and Amazon both getting hit. So we're seeing like almost dispersion here. Look, this is a 90% update. You take out Apple, you make Apple and Amazon, well, Amazon is flat. You make Apple flat for the day, we're up 2.5% on SPY, or at least QQQ. So anyway, that's really what I was getting at here. Hopefully that helps people. Outside of that, right now, we are above my kind of macro trend line here. So again, you got to continue to give bulls the benefit of the doubt until this changes. Now, I know structurally this is not the greatest. Like, I don't love the gaps, but I'm telling you, this reminds me a lot of 2023, right? Everybody, and myself included, again, this is why I'm saying this stuff. Oh, there's a gap here. There's a gap, 4 or 5 gaps. Don't have to fill. I mean, maybe they'll fill at some point. Maybe they'll fill later this year, but if you're still short from there, you're like completely out of house and home. And again, well, we need to pull back. We need to pull back. We can just go sideways and go up. We saw that plenty of times. So, saying all that just to give everybody a perspective here, and I guess hopefully to help you avoid these situations in the future. And again, this is a pain trade. So anyway, with that said, macro trend line, we are above that. We're going to close the week above that. So give the bulls a benefit of the doubt till this ends. Now, are we due for a pullback? Yes, we could have a pullback at any time. It would not shock me if we gapped down Monday and sold off. But we have a lot of space now for higher lows here. Bulls can come in. They've got stuff to work with. I keep hearing this 2022 analog as well. I'll respect it, but again, this is 13% or so in basically almost a whole quarter. And then we rallied about 13% in a few weeks. This is 22% in a month. And now we're up, I think about 14 or 15 off of that. So big difference, right? Look at the RSI here, just for an example. You came down, you had a little divergence there, but this got destroyed here. Weekly oversold too. So again, just keep that into perspective. We'll take it one step at a time. Till this ends, it can go higher. I do have some cycle dates for next week that could cause a turn. We have the Fed next week, that could cause a turn. Obviously for bulls, you don't want to be ripping up into that because that just sets you up. But yeah, we could easily go sideways and then go higher from here too. And I said before, what's going to cause a major squeeze is not how far we go down, it's if everybody shorts the bounce, and that's what we're seeing right here. So anyway, still got resistance up here, 5750, 5800. This whole zone. Definitely don't be a buyer up here. And by the way, just so everybody knows, I've closed out most of my longs already and actually have a small vol position right now. So I'm not saying this from a place of hubris to brag about my longs or anything. But yeah, don't chase the rally. If you're going to short, I advise using volatility. But yeah, Q's into the 200, obvious level. You got the whole round number of 500 above that. IWM finally getting above 200. Got a gap fill up there, and that was strong today off the China news in the overnight. Dow trying to reclaim the 50 MA. SMH, I got rid of the old trend line. I don't really like it that much anymore. But look at weekly. We're back above that. Third hit of the trend line, we always look for a pierce, and on the monthly we pierced and didn't close below it. That's a hell of a pierce though. IGV again continues to be, I think, the champion of tech here. Right into that double bottom. Well, not double bottom, but you get the idea. Gaps right into those pivots. Very strong on the weekly. Trend is back up on all time frames. Transport's finally getting an outside move and a higher high. So this has still got a lot of work to do, right? This is still pretty beaten down. And it's a laggard, but 15K, that's going to be a big area to back test. Maybe 14.8. On the daily, yeah, 14.5. But that finally got a nice little bounce there. It was overdue. Bonds today got hit, obviously on non-farm payroll, and a lot of people were like scratching their head. What yields are up, right? Look at TNX. Shouldn't the market be down? Well, bonds can go up and down for various reasons, right? And if they're up because we're not going to go into recession, or at least that's the thought, then the market can go up. So I think that's the play here. I did close my little bond long, my TMF. I had a gain on, it was basically a runner position. We had a nice gain on it. I had a little runner here. I closed it out this morning. I'm not opposed to it going higher or putting in a higher low here, but I need to see more. So TLT didn't end up, it got to 90. We said it was going to go there. Didn't get to the $90 target though. But we'll see. Next couple of weeks will be important. Fed will be important. And if you want my 2 cents, they can, and probably, you can make the case that they should cut. Just because, they've got 50, a little over 50 basis points of room. They're not going to, but I'm saying you could argue that they should. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, I'm just saying from a face value standpoint. XHP finally back above the 50 MA. That's a golf clap though. So, you still got a lot of resistance up here. But it was strong all day. VNQ's been strong, trying to reclaim the 100. I like that we're closing the week back above 89.25. But you still got to look at all this. Like, these are all trap buyers. So just be careful. XLF trend is back up on the daily and weekly. That's a weekly close above all the moving averages. ARE back above the 50. ABE and broker dealers trend is back up on all time frames. Oil, it got a bounce yesterday. Tried to rally this morning, and then it kind of came back in. Had a little nice counter trend. I was hoping to get back to 60. We'll see what happens over the weekend. Maybe Iran or OPEC says something. They've been in the news a lot, but it's trying for a higher low here. Got to get through 62. Got to clear $60 on the low time frame. XLE flat to positive. Actually, this isn't terrible though, because it tested the lows today and reclaimed the 20. Exxon had pretty good earnings considering how bad of an environment they were in, and they did not slow down their buyback, although Chevron did. I still think these stocks are really, XOP looks really good. Let's see, this might actually be, this is kind of down. Probably should have picked some up. This is pretty good here. That's holding up next week. I might pick that up. What's it going to do? Go back to 100? All right, What else is new for oil stocks? All right, OIH up 2.6. We got CCJ, nice recovery, getting back above these pivots. Still got to clear 48, 49. Kind of a broadening pattern here. So kind of like that. In fact, we could even, let's just do this. Yeah, it's probably not the best. Either way, you get the idea. We'll get rid of that. So interesting. Weekly chart needs to get back above 50 though. NM closing the week back above our yellow line. Still got a lot of work to do, but nice to see that. And then J, pretty much the same thing. Still got to clear that 18 handle. Nat gas continuing to rebound. Nice pop there, up 5.2. Yeah, it's holding 3. So just, again, I know this can be a sleeper here. I know it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but you go back a while, like sometimes it does. Let me go all the way back. Sometimes it does this like extended consolidation here after a major low, and it can take off. It needs a catalyst, of course, but it's in the range right now. Dollar was down today, but it came back off the lows. Again, this is way still oversold. I think it's got to have some sort of further rebound here. So rebounded after the non-farm payroll, and again, dollar yen was down earlier off of the weak, or the strong jobs report, but it wasn't because of risk off, it was because of the strong jobs report, and it did come back. Gold's still struggling, so losing the 20 MA, GLD back below 300. It's not broken, but I mean, if we lose 3,200, I think your consolidation is the next likely, weekly consolidation is likely, we'll say. Silver, same kind of deal. I prefer to see it say above 31.75 generously. Platinum trying, I don't really love that. Palladium trying to curl up a little bit too, though. Nothing great or terrible in either of those. And copper, that's a no touch. That's way all over the map. Bitcoin was strong until the afternoon. It eventually came back in. It's trying to clear this trend line right now. Again, it did clear that pivot, but there's still a lot up here, right? A lot of congestion up here. That said, it's acting well. I would have preferred it waited like another 2 days for that 20 MA to catch up a little bit more, but no problems. It's fine for now. It can pull back from here, but it does have a nice little daily chart base. Weekly chart, very nice, and looks like we have a chance to close the week above both 94.83 and 96.484. You close the week above those, that's huge, because that negates the entire breakdown. And by the way, Bitcoin's not far off all-time highs, and that's with all this stock market meltdown that we've seen over the last 2 months. Anyway, yeah, spiders, we'll see if they go back for 565 here. Yeah, they're not paying out 490. We'll see if they go back for that. I kind of figured they would. I wouldn't make too much out of it here. We got the Fed next week and some more earnings, although we got the bigger ones out of the way now. But anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Have a great weekend. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all next week.